Right, this weekend, UFC 305, Perth, Australia. The last stylebender returns, taking on the champion from South Africa, Dricus du Plessis. This fight, stylistically, is going to be phenomenal. And I'm telling you right now, there is tremendous bad blood on the line in this one. These two cannot stand one another, and they're finally going to throw down. They did try to make this fight happen at UFC 300. Dricus du Plessis said he was offered a significant amount of money, but he couldn't take the fight because, essentially, his foot was a balloon.
My foot was a balloon.
His foot was in a moon boot. He'd injured it against Sean Strickland, and he didn't want to rush back and take on this fight because, let's be honest, Israel Adesanya, who is the second best middleweight of all time, is a serious threat for anybody. Now, let's remind ourselves of the bad blood. Of course, Israel Adesanya is from Nigeria. Kamaru Usman was the first African champion, the Nigerian nightmare. Then came Israel Adesanya. I might have them two the wrong way around without looking at the fact checking. Of course, we had Francis Ngannou as well, coming from Cameroon. That man went through a lot, and he was an African champion as well. Dricus du Plessis kind of pissed those people off because he said that he's the only one that wakes up and breathes African air. So therefore, he's the real African champ.
We wake up in Africa every day. We train in Africa, we're African born, we're African raised. We still reside in Africa, we train out of Africa. That's an African champion, and that's who I'll be.
He's the one bringing the belt back to Africa. That's going to piss off Israel Adesanya, Francis Ngannou, Kamaru Usman, all of them, because if you ask them, they paved the way. And they are the very reason that Dricus du Plessis even gets to compete in this sport. I understand the point that he's making. The reality is Dricus is here because of the hard work and the success that he had inside the octagon. So, they did fight at UFC 300. They are fighting at UFC 305, and I can't wait for this one. Israel Adesanya is pissed off. He said, I just want him to take accountability for his remark. I'm also glad my friend Abdul Razak Al Hassan said it before his fight about 3 weeks ago, saying, I respect Dricus, but he's a bitch for what he said. He's a bitch because Dricus is saying, I trained in Africa, I do this in Africa. And people like Razak and myself, we're out here who were forced to flee our own country because of a better opportunity. He went on to say, he will never understand that because he lives behind these effing gates of his privileged life in South Africa. And he's able to do that there. So someone like Francis, who had to cross the desert to go overseas, if you know Francis's story, you can't not call him a real African champion because he didn't train in Africa. Like, bro, are you effing kidding? The guy got sent back to the desert 6 or 7 times to go and die, and he survived. And listen, that is a great point by Israel Adesanya, right? Dricus du Plessis grew up in South Africa. Life is good, okay? People like Francis Ngannou had a terrible path, okay? And for whatever reason, whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to get into all the African politics. I don't know enough about it for one. Certainly not going to speak on it. Different paths, horses for courses, okay? Francis had to flee. From what I understand from Israel Adesanya, this man didn't necessarily grow up in a tough environment. The man grew up in a wealthy household. Apparently they had maids and servants and stuff like that growing up. But they left for a better life to New Zealand. And of course, you can't hold that against somebody. That's what we're all trying to do. That's what I did. I came out to America because the sport of mixed martial arts is bigger. I'm still a proud Englishman. Izzy is still a proud Nigerian/African. So all this stuff, it's nonsense. It doesn't matter, okay? Yeah, it's personal to them. But for us, as fans, as spectators, it makes it only better. Of course, we love it when martial artists handle themselves like martial artists. When they bow and they're full of respect and all the rest of it. That's great. George St. Pierre, eat your goddamn heart out, okay? But when two people don't like each other, when it's genuine, when they are talking shit, when they are frothing at the mouth, as fans, we are rubbing our hands together and we cannot wait for it.
Hey, are you still there?
Now, all that stuff aside, when Izzy got in the ring and confronted Dricus and they went face to face and they talked all that crazy shit that I am not going to repeat, okay? Yeah, again, that hyped the fight up. But the fight, to be honest, doesn't really need hyping up. Dricus du Plessis is phenomenal. What he has achieved in this sport, the way he's ran through the entire division. And granted, yes, the fight against Sean Strickland was a close one, okay? But he got the decision. It's as simple as that. Sean was a first-time champion. He was defending the belt for the first time, so he didn't get the immediate rematch. But Israel Adesanya defended the belt 5 times. He was the interim champ before that as well. And he went up to 205 to try and become a 2-weight division champion. The schedule that he's been on in championship fights, one after the other for many, many years, to be quite frank, is just ridiculous. It really is. So I feel that that's partly why Israel Adesanya wasn't himself when he fought Sean Strickland. I'm not making excuses for him. The man's a human being and he was probably worn down. But it doesn't matter, because if he doesn't show up, he's going to get worn down and forced through the canvas, face first, left in a pile of blood, sweat, and piss, okay? And yeah, he probably was. He was burned out, he was ground down, but he's got to be careful because Dricus du Plessis is coming for him. He's coming for that head, and he's coming to knock him out. And that is the only way that Dricus fights. Dricus is putting people to sleep. He is knocking them out, grinding them down, choking them out, just punishing them. The man has got a very, very punishing style. And because this is so personal, this will be something special. Israel Adesanya needs to remind the world of who he is and what he's capable of. I mean, come on, let's remember, he's the only man to beat Alex Pereira in the octagon. A stunning knockout. And by the way, he took that after losing to Alex Pereira 3 times in a row. Twice in kickboxing, lost the middleweight title to him, and then came immediately back. Didn't want to warm up, didn't take time off, came straight back and knocked the man out. Okay, if you can't respect that, then I don't know what to say to you, because that is the type of behavior that you want to see from a champion and the type of mentality that you want in fighters that you have to respect. Now let's talk about the skill set. They're both great fighters. There's lots of bad blood. They're very accomplished. One's a champ, one's a former champ. But how do we break this fight down? Well, first of all, when it comes to the training methods, Dricus du Plessis, his coach is taking things to another level. He's tasing him all over the place.
I helped him fix the problem.
Now, that's probably just the coach messing around there and being silly for the cameras, but you never know. We've seen some crazy training stuff. I mean, look at that one with Joshua Fabia and Diego Sanchez hanging upside down, getting slapped in the head. Shadow boxing with a blindfold on, you know. Crazy training methods from a crazy trainer. Joshua Fabia had no place in MMA. He did not belong here. Simple as that, and I'm glad that he's gone. Ido Portal with Conor McGregor, which, to be fair, the movement training that he did, that was good stuff. Very, very good training. Just Nate Diaz labeled it touch butt in the park.
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail.
And completely dismissed it. Completely discredited it, but absolutely hilarious nonetheless. All right, so crazy training methods aside, let's talk about how these men stack up, okay? Let's talk about striking, because the fights all start on the feet. Now, everyone says that when they look at Dricus du Plessis, he's not that good. He's ugly to watch. Well, let me tell you, the man is very, very effective. Simple as that. And you got to judge the man on the results, not on what you see, right? He's got 9 knockouts, 10 submissions, stopped Robert Whittaker, TKO, Derek Brunson, TKO, Trevin Giles, Marcus Perez, TKO or knockouts, right? On his record, only 9 knockouts, 10 submissions, so the ground game is fantastic, and the wrestling is really, really good as well. The way that he times the takedowns, that's why he's so successful. And of course, when it comes to physical strength, Dricus just apparently is so strong. That's the first thing that his former opponents talk about. They're like, wow, that guy was strong, okay? So he's got freaky strength, he's got excellent timing on the takedowns, he commits to the shot, and he's got an offbeat rhythm. As I said, not the prettiest to watch, but certainly is effective. I was talking to Anthony Smith, and I said, do you know who Dricus du Plessis reminds me of? Dan Henderson. When you look at the career of Dan Henderson, absolutely legendary, Pride champion back in the day, and had a really long, glittering, decorated career. And yeah, we fought back twice back in the day, and yeah, he knocked me out, and yeah, he's not my favorite person, but you got to respect the career that the man had. Simple as that. And when you look at him, he looks like shit. I remember my boxing coach back in the day saying, oh my God, Mark Kinney, great boxing coach, great guy, shout out Mark, saying, we're going to box this guy's ears off. He is terrible. He is shit. Look at him. I remember him looking at videos going, oh my God, we are going to have a field day. And of course, I got sparked out, knocked out, bingoed, knocked out into oblivion with the H-bomb, okay? Fair play. The man was effective. And even in the rematch, he got me twice as well. When I look at Dricus du Plessis, it's the same thing. When you look at him with the eyes, it's not that good. But when you're in there with the guy and he's committing to the shots and he's walking you down and he's being aggressive, it's a whole different ball game. And that's why this is going to be tough for Israel Adesanya, because Dricus will walk him down. You've got to crowd the kicker. Izzy is a counter striker, so of course he's going to welcome Dricus moving forward. But Dricus always moves forward. He's going to cut the cage off. He's going to back him up. He's going to swing wild, reckless shots. He's got a chin. He can take some powerful shots, and he's going to walk Izzy down and try and fluster him, swing shots, rip to the body, throw some kicks, boom, Blaster takedown. So how does Izzy match up with him? Well, yeah, of course, on paper, he is the better kickboxer. He is the more clinical striker. He is the prettier guy to watch. When you watch this guy operate, he is as slick as they come. And we know the walkouts as well. You know, the little dancing shows that he puts on. The man is an entertainer. Now, when it comes to the grappling side of things, he has not been an easy man to take down. And even when he does get taken down, he bounces up very, very quick. He has mastered the art of the takedown defense against the fence. Out in the open, that's a different kettle of fish. When you take somebody down in the open, they haven't got the fence to lean on to assist them in getting back to their feet. I'll do a video breaking that all down one day. So Dricus is going to look to take him down in the center of the octagon as he's backing him up. Jiu-jitsu, Dricus by far has got the better ground game. But let's talk about the intangibles. Experience, Israel Adesanya, without a shadow of a doubt, has way more experience. The man has been on top of the world, on top of the fight game for many, many years. Championship fight after championship fight. 5 rounds after 5 rounds. Preparation, stress, sponsors, fame, money, distractions, all the rest of it. This man has seen it all. He's got far more experience. But I don't think he's ever taken on someone like Dricus du Plessis. Heart. Let's talk about heart. You can't doubt the heart of Dricus du Plessis. And you certainly cannot doubt the heart of Israel Adesanya. Remember, he stepped back in against Alex Pereira straight away. He did not have to do that, and for that, he'll always have my respect. Cardio, listen, Izzy's been 5 rounds, no issues. Dricus went 5 rounds last time against Sean. He did it. There was no problem, okay? But in the past, he has struggled after round 2. But of course, the man got the nose repaired, and maybe that's why the cardio is fixed. But I would give Izzy the cardio advantage just simply because, number one, the man carries less muscle. He doesn't get tired as quick. And the style that he has is a bit more economical. The reason Dricus gets tired is because he does come forward. He's like a juggernaut, swinging, full power, ripping takedowns. When you fight like that, you get tired quicker because he commits to the shots. Anyway, I've been talking a lot. I'm very excited for this fight. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think about Dricus getting tased? And what do you think about Izzy and all the claims that he paved the way for Dricus du Plessis? I've said a lot, but I still haven't given a prediction. I'm saving that one for a couple of days. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and ring the bell. See you soon.